Warning. Some concepts, imagery, and language used in this Kult Divinity Lost campaign may be considered deeply offensive to some viewers. Maybe even a lot of viewers. If you are one such viewer, we're sorry. We love you, but you may want to f*** off for this one. Your discretion is advised. I'm not going to do it this time. Because I know we're live. Because I've come to trust Streamlabs. This will be the one time that we're not actually live. That there's just this giant error on the screen on the stream. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Myth Brigade. We are back playing Kult Divinity Lost. It's been a long time. This is episode 10 in our campaign called Beneath These Streets, where our characters are portraying an interesting collection of folks, and I'm gonna let you hear it from them. So first up, Mike, how are you doing, man?
Good, man. I'm doing real good. My face on the stream is like cut off the top of my head, so try to fix that a little bit.
You look brilliant.
Thank you very much.
Those headphones are badass, by the way. Those are nice. Nice headphones.
Appreciate it. My daughter picked it out. I was looking for something that says Lisa Frank to go with my Frank Quinn, you know? Try to offset it just a little bit.
There you go.
So, yeah, things are good, man. Trying to survive the best I can. Locked in my house like everybody else. So, putting some time into my backlog of video games, trying to catch up a little bit there. And then,
what are you playing?
Right now, Final Fantasy VII Remake, which has been fantastic. And then Diablo 3 sort of is my quick pickup sort of game. Final Fantasy is when you want to sit down, you kind of want to play for a few hours, but Diablo is good to jump in, play a couple of levels and get out of there.
Yes, so, until your backpacks are all full and it's like, oh god, now I've got to go do trading. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Very cool. I'm glad to know you're healthy. Everybody's good, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah. We're all doing well.
Voice acting stuff, what's going on there?
So the voice acting stuff's going well. Got my commercial demo back. So
you made tomato soup sound so hot. I just got
that's the idea.
I was like,
that's the idea. Gotta give me some Campbell's. God damn.
Get it.
So character demo is with my producer now. Character demo should be back. It was supposed to be back at the end of last week, but I think he got a little tied up. So hopefully I'll have it this week. Website is under development, and then Estes Voiceovers officially opens for business, man.
Nice. And hopefully I get a discount rate so that you can do all of the voiceovers for our campaign prequels. Awesome. Covered, very cool. Tell me real quick, who are you playing and what's wrong with him?
So I am playing former detective Frank Quinn of the Chicago Police Force. Frank is currently living as a homeless man on the streets, a runaway, or basically in hiding from the police department. After his family was very mysteriously and grisly murdered, Frank became the main suspect in the case. And in order to avoid capture, as well as try to find out what actually happened, he's taken to hiding in the streets. And so that's where we find him today.
Nice. Steve Nedley, the artist. How are you doing, man?
Doing well, sir. How are you?
Man, I am living that dream. How's the artwork going? I've seen the character art that you did with the 6 panels. That was really, really cool.
Yeah, I'm a trendy basic bitch. It's really nice. I like that sort of a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I had it's to admit a bit of a fault of mine. I'm having such a hard time staying productive in quarantine for some reason. Like I always define myself as an introvert, but like the lack of contact's really fucking with me.
Yes, so, I can see it. Yeah.
So, basically I feel like I've been, prepping for tonight.
I work from the studio now, and so like this room is my night and day, and it's really not okay. It's just not all right. It's quiet and creepy and smells like band members. Yeah, exactly. Tell us about Randall. So who are you playing and what's wrong with him?
My character is named Randall Michelson. He's another homeless man. He's been homeless for quite a while. He has a problem with substances. That problem being when he runs out, everything sucks. That's the only problem, because drugs are awesome for him. Stay in school, kids.
There's an entire episode of this campaign dedicated to you getting a fix, isn't there?
Yeah, I actually wanted to apologize to formally to Mike, because I'm pretty sure that my junkie habit became like an entire focal point,
Yeah.
Like if you
That's
had
all right, man.
if you had like that Star Wars thing, and like one episode, one of the movies was devoted to Luke really needing fucking Adderall or something, like that's what that was. So I kind of feel guilty about going over that way, but I got my fix, so screw you guys. It's fine.
So he's a homeless guy that struggles with drug addiction and some pretty dark secrets that you guys will have to watch. If you check out the links in the description and stuff, learn all about that. CJ, how are you doing, man?
I'm good.
Nice. Do you finish your delicious dinner that we were watching you eat during the setup?
I got my popcorn right here.
Oh, nice. It's when it gets really interesting. You're just going to pop the popcorn. That's awesome. Tell us about Constantine. What's going on with Constantine, and what's wrong with him?
Well, there's nothing wrong with him. He's a believer in our divine Lord, and you shall all bow down and pray with him.
So he's got it all together, and he was, he was away. Yeah. So he was away.
He had to go like on a little sabbatical and pray a little bit.
Yeah. What did we'll get to that in a second. I think that the guys are going to wonder where you were for sure.
No, they didn't miss me. I'm sure they didn't miss me.
I don't know. Well, Randall.
I had to push a bunch of strangers into a fucking train track. So if you weren't there, then I had to choose them. So technically, priest, this is on you.
There was also that time you lit the bathroom on fire.
It was all at the same time.
Was that me?
Yeah.
It's all kind of hazy.
Nice. Just a quick announcement before we get going.
There.
So I'm going to paste into our chat a link for you guys that happen to be watching the stream out there that might be interested in Kult Divinity Lost. You can use our affiliate link, Cha-ching, to give us credit for your interest. So click that and it will, I think we get like 6 cents per $1 million spent. So that's fantastic. So I'm making that bank.
Split 4 ways.
Exactly. We're going to be so wealthy. Oh, actually, we'll be your characters. That's what we'll be.
Yeah.
So you guys ready to turn on some scary movie sounds and get going here?
Let's do it.
I have to say that
so spooky.
Iron Cthulhu Apocalypse's fantastic titles like Die in Your Sleep, Nuclear Winter, such uplifting tunes for the young people to enjoy.
Pandemic quarantine.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So last time we got together, there was a bit of a mix-up on the way to Pierson Chemicals. The episode is called Public Transit. If you guys are interested, check it out. Our heroes, as it were, got in a bit of an altercation with law enforcement and public transit officials, but did nonetheless make their way across town after causing a transit official to have a heart attack, I believe. You fed him his pills, but you stole his wallet. Why am I laughing at this?
It was not funny.
Yeah. Frank was not pleased, but you did get enough cash for an incredibly cheap hotel room and I think it was a cab ride.
And a hot meal. I think we went to it was like Waffle House or something.
Yeah, dude, Waffle House is delicious.
I don't remember none of this but pushing people on a train track. I'm a terrible person.
You're blacked
that's
out.
A coping mechanism.
Yeah.
You blacked it out.
Yes.
So that's where we'll pick up with this in mind. A musty pool.
CJ.
Huh? I'm sorry.
I need absolution, CJ. I need
A musty pool hall. The uneven metal frame door complains as it swings open before a dark figure. It's neither in this world nor out. It is a shadow cast by shadows into a reality that is not our own. The scent is strong here, even through the gut-wrenching stink of stale cigarette smoke, cheap booze, and piss, and the vomitus of these simian filth. They were here. It was here. The cue ball cracks in a well-placed break before it begins. The bloodshed, the slaughter, the wet spray of blood and viscera showers tables, hazy glass bottles, and the mirrors behind the bar. Hot entrails spill like slick heaps on the filth-strewn tile cushioning the fall of the dead apes. The figure passes. He pauses to drink in the smell. Answer: cirrhosis. Virginity. The bartender's fear was sweet while it lasted. Its approach was less reckless with this one, though. A razor-sharp extrusion of bone cut clean through the throat. The facial spasms portrayed mock surprise as the head slid free from the slumping body and onto the bar. Thump, thump, thump. Hair-like tendrils protruded from the fingers on the figure's claw and wormed their way into the ruined meat of the head. "Give me a name," it spat as the head's eyes snapped open in shock. A name has power in the places between worlds. The mouth twisted into the soundless shape of a single word. Randall, you're standing there smoking a cigarette. On the street corner, the payphone call was made. You had almost forgotten that you'd agreed to call Mr. Bianchi when you arrived at a place that you could meet up. You've been waiting a while now, wondering what exactly is going to happen. The last you heard him say was something along the lines of, "I'm on my way." And then out of nowhere comes this horrific whine of an engine, this grumble of this clearly larger than necessary engine, and the squeal of tires as this rattletrap of an El Camino turns onto the long road that leads up to your hotel and sputters into a halt in front of you. And driving that El Camino with that same bizarre, wide-eyed look on his face is Constatine Bianci. The engine as he shuts it off, and one really loud bang. Frank's inside, having a shower. What do you do?
I pick myself up off the wall and I walk towards Constantine.
Okay. You walk over to the El Camino. It's brown, well, in parts, still, and metal color and Bondo color in others. As you walk up, you can smell just the stink of old smoke and sweat coming out of this car. Constantine looking at you with that kind of surprised look in his face. What do you do? What do you say?
Priest, man, where the fuck were you? You missed a lot of shit, man. I'm glad you got a Pope mobile and everything, but you missed some shit.
You're on mute, CJ. That's better.
Blessings, my son. I had to go. Pray and seek what our divine Lord really meant for us. And look what I have brought for you. And I gesture to the back seat.
He points over the back compartment, and there are rifles standing up in there. There's guns just kind of wedged in there, like, you know. got a spilled out box of shotgun shells in the passenger seat next to him, and a revolver, one of those big jobs like in the 80s, the Dirty Harry, big 357. Long barrel, too.
God, all right. Pull the fucking car up to the hotel, man. Frank's inside washing. Hide your shit. This is hallelujah or whatever. Just put the guns inside, please.
Yes. Help me.
You pull up and park the car, Constantine?
Mm-hmm.
You pull up. It takes a few times to start. Hot wiring in the first place was kind of tough. You hadn't done that since you were a kid. But yeah, you... Let's see. Does Randall notice the hot wiring? Are you there? Or you notice him kind of reaching underneath?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
You see him laying down.
I mean, I am a Constantine. I wasn't expecting you to do something quite so street here. I figured you'd be over there calling Hail Marys and whatnot. And this is fantastic.
It's exactly how this occurred. God has blessed me with the knowledge on how to do this doohickey. And it worked.
And just as he says that, the engine sputters back to life, and he twists the wires together.
Haha, blessed be.
And pulls up into the parking lot.
All right.
From inside the room, Frank, you're getting dressed. Being by yourself for a change is nice. It's been a while. Being clean for a change is nice as well. Buttoning what's left of your shirt when you hear this and these bright lights shining through the sheer and actually illuminating that kind of gross gold curtain that blocks the window. You can hear the hum of the you could hear the hum of the AC, but no more over the loud engine. Randall, you burst in.
Hey Frank, you naked?
So I'm standing there in a daze, buttoning what's left of my shirt and reaching for my old, disgusting overcoat. Keeps me warm, but it smells like shit. And I'm lost in emptiness. Like my head is finally clear, and the water, the hot water, washing over me and just giving me a moment of clarity and blocking the noise. And so I'm almost in a trance of just relaxation when suddenly Randall busts in and like a bubble, it just pops. And suddenly where I am and why I'm here and what has happened is all sort of comes crashing to me. And I immediately snap into a heightened sense of just awareness. And so startled, but not thrown off, I respond, "Nah, man, I'm here. I'm just..."
It looks so eerie, Frank, with the headlight. It doesn't have both, just shining right into the door, and it's sort of silhouetting him. What the hell that car is about? You can't really see through the kind of milky windshield what's going on.
What's going on with the car out there? Who is that? Who'd you meet out there?
I found a priest. I'm glad you're not naked. I found a priest.
Is it our priest?
At that point, you hear the car shut down. Constantine, what do they see? How do you get it? Tell us what is it like from the camera view looking out at that car? What does that look like when you get out?
Oh, completely dazed and confused. I stumble out of the car because I don't really drive often. I'm trying to handle that long the long revolver, but I'm kind of stumbling as I'm trying to put it inside my coat. I dropped some of the shotgun shells on the floor because I honestly don't know if they go to the gun I just put in my pocket or what they go to, honestly. I don't know guns too well.
You guys reacted.
But I'm like, the weapons of the Lord are here.
He steps in. He's got this long barrel 357 and his handful of 12 gauge shotgun shells. Clearly not sure what's going on with either. What do you guys do?
So my instinct immediately is to put my hands, I just brush my fingertips over the revolver that I have in my pocket that I had taken from him in that fight.
Yep.
And reflexively, I say, I thought we talked about guns. I don't think you should have that. And I hold my free hand out, beckoning him to hand it to me.
You're gonna need a lot more hands, man. The full fucking car is full.
Yeah.
Where did you get guns?
I start grabbing the guns out of the back. Here.
Bring those inside. Don't leave those out there. Get them in here, now.
The weapons of our Lord.
Doesn't matter.
This is like the Crusades. We are Crusaders. Yes, we are Crusaders.
So just as
Doesn't
he says
exactly
that,
work like that.
leaning in, and Constantine out of the sort of the periphery of your vision, you see a shape. It's moving of its own accord. You're not sure what it is, but there's movement there, right? You guys hear, "Oh hell no! I don't get paid enough for this," and you hear a broom as the maid is trucking it across the parking lot toward this sort of windowed office. It's one of those strip motels, right, with the windowed office on the end. And you're standing there with this arm full of there's a double barrel 12 gauge and a single barrel 12 gauge, and you're giving your sermon. What do?
What's her problem?
You're drawing attention to us. We don't need this kind of attention. Get those inside, now.
I'm not gonna be able to have a shower, am I? I don't have time for this, do I?
I don't think we're going to be able to stay here.
I will bring the weapons inside and lay them on the bed.
You do. So you kind of plop them on the bed. The bed's like spring hard, just boing, doing, doing, doing as you drop them. It's got that really gaudy 1980s bedspread on it. And the door kind of shuts behind you. It's heavy enough that it basically closes itself, and you're there together for the first time in a while. You can hear kind of some noise, some shouting or something going on, but you don't know what's happening. What do?
I don't know where the fuck you got those or where the hell you've been, but you left us in a tight spot. We can't stay here. We got to go. We'll catch up later.
Do you
Are you
finish
sure?
getting dressed?
I mean, technically, they can't kick us out. We have all the guns and ammo. Come on, Frank. You got to watch your ass. Don't be selfish.
I'm not going to get gunned down in a hotel room, man.
I know. That's what I'm saying. We have all the weapons. All right, fuck it. All right, we got to move. That's fine. I'll just next time I get to shower first, and you get to hang outside with the hookers and wait for the fucking Pope-mobile. Okay.
So while we're on,
Really
Randall,
frustrated to go. Blame him. He's the one that brought that shit here.
Yeah. Fucking priest doing what I told him to do.
You asked him to do this?
To bring him inside, yeah. I mean, you don't want to leave it in the car. Someone might take it. You know what sort of a bad neighborhood this is?
how's the priest reacting to this? So, like, what would we see if we were looking at Constantine? Is he just kind of looking back and forth between the two of them? Like, is he?
Yeah, he's I'm sitting there slightly confused at the interaction here, because in my mind I'm thinking, this is what the Lord has provided. Who are they to deny what the Lord has provided us? But I'll be silent.
So you notice, Constantine's expression is clearly one of like, of a lack. He doesn't really understand what's going on here. What do? You finish getting dressed, Frank, so you're kind of good to go for the most part. Randall, you smell pretty bad. What do? You hear that of the analog, digital-looking clock on the table switch.
So I couple of fingers to the side on the curtains, and I'm peeking out, looking for any sort of sign that somebody's coming this way. That woman seemed really freaked out, and I just want to make sure she doesn't cause any trouble for us.
Give me an observe the situation roll. Let's see what you see. Where is my child?
Can Randall go use the restroom while you're doing that?
He sure can. If that's what you must do. Oh, nice. Okay.
It's in my nature, so I'll be right back.
So Randall steps into the toilet, and you hear a whistling sound.
What mods you got on that thing, man?
and a small baggie opening.
Oh, right.
I got a little foil thing from the.
Oh,
tank.
Are you gonna do that?
A little bit. I need a little bit, man. I just ran through the fucking train station. I had enough time for fucking selfish asshole here to take a shower. Constantine and go rob a fucking pawn shop or something.
So you get two questions.
Kill the guy.
Yeah. So you go in, and I'm gonna need you to make a roll to see through the illusion once you get good and set, Randall. But
are we gonna do the Sixth Sense roll? By the way?
Yeah, you can do both if you want. Give me the Sixth Sense first.
Okay.
Frank, two questions. What are you observing? So you look out the window. The sort of street lights are shining. It's got that kind of orangish, real dim light that's kind of reflecting off some puddles here and there. It's not even rainwater. It's just gross drainage from somewhere. You can see the light of the office, and there's a pair of folks talking. The maid, who is unmistakable, and a thin man that you do not recognize.
Does the maid look overly alarmed?
She looks angry. You notice her body language, and she's just raising her hands, and she's pointing at him, and she's shorter than him, but he's sort of back on his heels as she's yelling in his face, and you can hear that, but it's very muffled, so you're not sure what's being said. What else?
Okay. Is she drawing attention to the situation in the way that she's acting? Are there people on the street watching, people looking out of the other hotel windows?
Good question. You look around. The short scan down toward the other end, you do see a curtain pulled aside. There's a man there, and then over his shoulder is the sort of feminine shape, maybe on the bed. There's a light and a TV flashing in that room as well. He's watching, but it seems like he's naked, best you can tell.
Gross.
It happens. Randall, so what was there looking at here? So your roll. So what's your roll for Sixth Sense? 5. Remind us what Sixth Sense does.
Sorry, it's gonna be 8 because I forgot to do the plus soul.
All right.
All right. Sixth Sense is I have an intuition for things, both good and bad. At the start of each game session, roll plus soul. And that is for 15 plus, I choose up to 3 options, usable anytime during the session.
Yep.
10 to 14, I choose up to 2 options for anything under that.
Oh, and you rolled an 8, right? Oh, yeah. So the result there is your instincts fail to trigger in a dangerous situation. So that's a shame. So I get to make a move. In other words, you will fail. Roll for erection. That's nice. That's good. You will fail to notice something, and I'll cause you some problems. Meanwhile, you are going to try to see through the illusion as well, aren't you? On accident.
Yes, that was rolled at 15.
Yeah. So your old friend heroin, you're cooking it up. You've got just amount of time, and you're fast, right? You kind of hold the tubing and surgical tubing in your mouth and tighten it down, and man, you're just moving quick. You turn the syringe toward your veins, which as you look at these track marks, and every time lately they're just opening and closing. They're just leaking this clear, stringy stuff. Your hand starts to shake. You notice the needle is shaped like this, but in your desperation to get high, you hook it around. What do you do, Randall, as you see this? What do you do?
Oh man, I just sort of freeze. I wasn't thinking this was going to happen again.
Your hand is shaking, and you glance up into the mirror. And she's there. She's close because you're right there by the sink, and she's so angry with you, Randall. You stagger backward and drop your syringe. What is the group outside here? Anything?
they hear a bunch of clanking, me kicking shit around, probably me muttering.
Constantine, how do you react to that? You're closest. You're sort of by the bed, closest to the bathroom, kind of arranging your guns, and in some way you're looking for a Bible in the end table or something. What do? You hear this clink clank.
I put down the shotgun shell because clearly I'm not successful in putting it into the revolver so far. So I go over to the door and I slap it lightly. Brother, are you okay in there?
Yeah, working on stuff. It's fine. Just
Frank, you notice there is this commotion that's going on, and just as this sound occurs, you notice that the thin man starts kind of walking over, sort of slowly and somewhat casually, or maybe cautiously. You're not sure which. What do? Someone's approaching, and there's all kind of chaos going on in the bathroom.
So I noticed that, and I slowly let go of the curtain, trying to make sure that I don't alert him to the fact that I was peeking out. And as calm, but with as much urgency as I can, I say, "Hey, Randall, listen, man, I know you're doing your thing, but you really got to wrap it up. I think we got to go."
Roll to give me a keep it together roll for Randall. So you make this kind of roll when you're succumbing to stress, trying to endure traumatic experiences, like most of their experiences, basically. So nice. You, wow. So the effort to resist instills a condition which remains with you until you've had time to recuperate. So you get -1 in a situation where this condition would be a hindrance to you. So I'm going to ask you to choose one of these. You become overly angry. You become sad, you become scared, become guilt-ridden and lose yourself in guilt, or you become obsessed with something, and that will endure much longer than distracted or haunted by this experience at a later time.
Angry.
Okay. So angry. Tell me how you express that anger. It is off the chain. You're going to be -1 stability as well.
That's fine. According to my fucking perception, the priest walked up as I was trying to dose, and he fucked me up, and I dropped my fucking syringe and ruined my dose. So fuck him. I don't care if he brought the fucking tanks with him. The guy's a piece of shit still.
So you think it's all on the priest?
I have a stupid ass right outside this door when I walk out of here.
So you arrive at this conclusion. How are you dealing with the vision that you see in the mirror? She's not gone away. She's standing there, and she's leaning forward a little too far out of the mirror.
I'm not looking at her. I'm ashamed. I'm shaking. I refuse to look over there. All I can think of is that the fucking priest did this. This is why I'm doing this. This is why.
And you hear, "Please get me." What do?
What did I hear?
You hear her beckoning you to look at her.
Nah, I'm not fucking looking over there.
So you're not looking over there. So your anger has. No. How do you vent your anger? Where does that go?
I'm gonna kick the fucking door open because my shit's ruined. I don't have time for this shit. I reach down, I grab a little pinch of the heroin, snort it, and I fucking walk out.
You kick the door open.
I boot fuck the door. I just put a foot through the fucking thing.
Boot fuck the door is the episode's title so far. So give me, Constantine, give me an avoid harm roll, please. Yes, Randall does smash. He rolled for erection. He succeeded. Avoid harm, nice. So that result is basically you emerge completely unharmed. So you tell us the door gets boot fucked, which is a bad thing. Anywhere you are, probably.
You can make love.
So you kick the door open. Constantine, what does the camera see? How do you avoid it?
The Lord has spoken to me and provided me guidance that I should take a step back, and so I do, as the door bursts open.
And that's slow-mo and everything. You just step back, and literally it's whoosh, and like a just a nanometer away from your nose. Just phew. He's standing there looking at you, Randall. He's staring at you, seeming probably surprised by the door passing in front of his face. What do you do? You've kicked the door open. Priest is right there.
Priest, get the fuck out of my way, dude. You fucking ruin everything. Move.
You need a hug.
You need some damn space. Back the fuck up.
Our Lord has given you life.
So while this commotion is going on,
Yes.
I take another peek out of the curtain and see if that guy is like close enough for him to start hearing the commotion that's going on right now.
Yeah, so literally you push it open, or you pull it open and look, and you see his shoulder right there at the window as he passes toward the door, and you hear this sort of...
I flash a look of like dad concern over at Randall that says, get your shit together right now without a word. And turn and take a half a breath to compose myself. And I open the door just far enough that he can't see in and see the shit that's going on in the bed. And I'm just praying that they're smart enough to do something about that mess, but I don't look back and I don't make mention of that at all. I say, hey, how you doing?
What are you doing in here? He leans in and looks. He's craning his neck. He's a thinner man. Is Indian descent. Got nice combed hair. He's got bags under his eyes, like he works long hours. He probably owns the place. You're causing disturbance. Why are you so loud?
We're doing God's work in here.
Good. Who is
I flash another look over in that general direction, but much shorter this time. So I apologize. It's been a little while since we've had a place to gather our thoughts and to get clean. We'll keep it down.
Are you doing drugs?
Close the door.
Yep. You just close the door in his face.
I try to, not like forcefully, but like letting him know, okay, I'm done with this conversation. And just,
well,
I slowly.
Are you doing drugs? Is the
Why? Do you have drugs?
As the door shuts.
I open the door again. I'm sorry. I thought we were done talking.
He's staring you down. He's so much smaller than you, but something tells you he could take you in a fight. He's just wiry.
Scrappy.
The maid said you had guns.
I walk up and I get next to Frank. Sir, have you accepted Jesus Christ into your life?
Oh, God.
Give me an influence other roll, Constantine.
While he's doing that, can I go throw the blanket over the guns on the bed?
You can. I think you can. Oh, nice. Okay, so the owner is going to take your suggestion, but I get to choose a little bit of a compensation, or a little bit of a complication. So tell me, what are you trying to get this guy to do by saying that?
I'm trying to do what is expected of people that are usually approached by the "Have you accepted Jesus in your life?" and put them at odds where they just want to get out of the conversation.
He rolls his eyes. No guns allowed on this property.
Who would bring guns?
I very slowly pull my revolver out of my pocket, and I hold it in a non-threatening manner, and I say, I apologize. I carry it with me for safety. If you'd be more comfortable, I'll go put it in my car. And I motion over towards the car parked right in front of the room.
You give me an influence other roll if yours is high enough, because that's a fantastic ploy. So if it's high enough, then I will negate what's about to happen because of Constantine's lecture. Oh, he sees it, right? His eyes lock in on it. He puts his hands up. No, I do not mean, no trouble. No trouble. I won't say anything.
Yeah, $5.
You're all you kind of come in behind. And you're like poke your head out and say, "I got $5, $50." I no call the cops. I no say anything.
20.
Give me an influence other roll, Randall.
at this point, I'm absolutely floored at where this has escalated to, and that I'm literally standing in the middle of a negotiation
Over
with
your
the
shoulder.
owner of this hotel. Right.
Yeah.
How did this happen? I'm just shocked standing there like,
Yeah.
Well, I will do 20. I will do 20.
And an extra $1 for a turn down service.
He just stares at you like, what an insult that was, right? He holds his hand out.
I give him 20.
He takes it. You'll be gone by morning, he says.
Yes,
Check out for you at 8. He nods, straightens his shirt, kind of turns and walks away. As the door slightly kind of opens still, you see kind of on the other side of him the maid standing in the light of the office window with her hands on her hips. Shut the door.
yep, I put the little shitty chain lock on it.
Yep. You hear, there's some more arguing.
Can I pop the door and put that little do not disturb hanging thing on it?
Sure.
They have those in the 80s?
Yeah, of course they did.
They didn't want to be disturbed in the 80s either.
What do you, so you put the do not disturb sign. You've got your guns covered up with a blanket. You're $20 poorer.
I have no idea how much money I have left.
What do you do? The overwhelming Pierson Chemicals looms on the other side of this event.
Well, we can't stay here. I suggest you guys get some rest. We got to get the hell out of here in the morning.
You'll have to forgive me. I'm not going to go take a shower because I'm too worked up. Yeah, that's it.
You step out, or do you just stand in the room menacingly with your temper still flaring?
No, I grab one of the flat, sweat-soaked pillows, and I whip it against the wall, and I sort of lean up against it, and put my head down and try to get some rest.
You sleep, such as it is. 10, 15 minutes here, maybe 20 minutes there, until the gray morning kind of intrudes, even through the shitty drapes. The crackling of something stuck in that fucking air conditioner that's bolted into the wall. And then, of course, your companion's sleeping. You wake up the following morning. Randall, you are first awake, and I'm assuming you do what most of us do first thing, and you go to the bathroom.
I don't know, man.
You don't pee? You don't go pee?
Not.
You don't go back in there?
You know, really, why go to the restroom to do that in such a fine room as this with all those reflective surfaces? Yeah, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, man. I can't hold it anymore. I've been avoiding all night going to the damn bathroom. And matter of fact, provided the mirror is in its factory condition, my syringe is still down there. So, good morning.
You go into the bathroom. You step in. You notice two things. First, your syringe is laying in good order to the right of the sink, as if it were placed there.
Oh.
Secondly, the mirror is a little foggy. Silhouette. Her silhouette. Very faint, but it's there. And there's your fix. Take it?
I have to, man. I know, but you know what happens if I don't.
You hear Frank coughing in the other room, like he's starting to wake up.
Oh fuck! All right, I'm not gonna. I take it and I knock it off into the toilet and I pee. I'm gonna try not to do this right now. I can't.
Okay.
I'm gonna be a bitch in a minute, but yeah.
Fine. You yeah.
I'm already pissed. Why not?
You knock it off in the toilet. Maybe it's a bad batch. You're not even sure. Maybe this didn't go down the way you thought it did. Clearly. You pee. All's well. Frank, you wake up. Constantine, you wake up. You guys have a continental breakfast? There isn't such a thing. I was joking. What do? You have a bed full of guns.
The first thing I do is I check the analog clock to make sure that it's still early enough for us to get the hell out of here without raising any more suspicion.
Yeah, it's like 6:16 in the morning.
And so Randall's in the bathroom. Constantine asleep on the bed next to his guns, I assume?
Yeah, yeah. He's, kind of moved the guns over into the part of the full-size bed or queen-size bed, whatever it is.
Yeah, he's just sleeping like this with his arms straight out.
They all do that, right? Yeah.
I slap a heavy limp hand, back of his hand on his chest like a obnoxious teenage older brother. And I just grunt out, "Get up. We gotta go."
So, Constantine, this is what you wake up to. Thunk on your chest. Frank walking away, having thumped you, clearly.
You've been thunked, bro.
I'll scramble awake and like clutching my revolver, like my new holy symbol. And I move the sheets over to make sure the rest of the guns are there.
Yeah, it's all there. Got 2 shotguns. There's another pistol, and there's a weird-looking pistol, a special 80s kind of pistol. It's a Mac 10. It's a Mac fucking 10. Because all characters in the 80s had a Mac 10. So there's one there. One clip.
The Lord has spoken to me. These red shell things here, I think they go to the shotgun.
So I'm on a knee, trying my best to get my shoes tight without breaking my old and frayed laces. And I look up, pausing mid-loop, and I say, "You're really going to hurt yourself. Let me show you how to use those." And I finish tying my shoe.
Do we see a montage of gun training happen? Do we see like...
Yeah, I assume Randall's in the bathroom doing...
Yeah.
So in the few minutes that we have, I pull out the revolver, I whip out the barrel, and I give him a quick rundown of how it works. Bullet sizes. Make sure you point the hole at the person you want to shoot. For the love of God, don't ever point it at me.
I'm cackling inside about the E10 montage. And there's the priest like aiming the guns different ways.
Yeah, just going through every single one of the different guns.
Yeah.
Just getting bigger and bigger as the montage goes on.
It's 83. That's when E10 came out.
Absolutely. So you've got Constantine. He gives you a rundown, and you've not been exposed to these things, and it all makes sense now for the most part. Although you wouldn't know what to expect if you pulled the trigger. You've seen cop shows, so you shoot the guy and he stands there and there's like a red stain on his shirt or something. That's what you would expect.
So they never run out of bullets.
Randall, you come out. You're well enough. You're as well as you're gonna be. You also have peed. You come out, of course, to see the gun training, which is fun. What do you do?
Hey, priest, bullets don't heal people, right?
Just might save us.
I associate this to what the Crusades were. Sometimes the divine wants
Murder?
us. What's that?
So I said murder?
It is not murder if it is done in the Lord, in God's name.
Righteous genocide. Got it. I'm getting the Mac 10.
You understand.
I do. I absolutely. Yeah.
Do you grab the MAC-10? Who grabs the MAC-10? I gotta know. Who's the Chuck Norris of the group? Oh, wow.
I really want it.
Yeah.
I really want it. I know it's prone to error, but so am I. So I identify as a MAC-10.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
As fast as they shoot.
I rifle through the pile of
Rifle.
miscellaneous ammunition that's on the bed, and looking for 5 more bullets to put in my revolver.
So you're going through the stuff on the bed. It's a tag. It's like a little zip-tied tag. It's yellow and it's got handwriting on it, right? Because everything wasn't printed out back then. And it's the tag itself in very bold pre-printed letters within lines, so you can write details in. It says evidence.
Where did you get these?
Well, I was praying, and I was down. I'd point off in the direction of like Fifth Avenue or something, near the police station. And there were some gentlemen outside talking, and God told me, look in that vehicle. I looked, and there was God's divine gift ready for us. Yeah.
So do I recognize this as like a police station evidence tag?
Yeah,
and
for
like
sure.
starting to put the pieces together.
Yep, absolutely.
Did you steal this from the police station?
No, not at all. No. God led me to this vehicle with these divine weapons, and I took the vehicle.
Yeah, it's just
I would
10%.
never steal from an officer of the law.
It's a tithe from the evidence room. That's what it is. It's like 10% of the evidence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, Frank.
He understands.
I do.
You realize that if this was in evidence, then the police have the plate numbers, and that we can't drive this, right?
Well, if it makes you feel better, Frankie, the car was outside the police station. It was not in evidence.
So were the guns, Frank. All right, the priest is going to go back and give all the guns back aside from my MAC-10. And he's going to go say he's sorry and that Jiba said so. And then you and I are going to go back to Pierson Chemicals and do whatever the fuck we're supposed to do. And then go back to the pool hall because...
Got to see Eggy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I say that last part just a little too sharply.
Yeah.
You guys are going to get us caught. The both of you.
What did I do? I didn't get any fucking guns. I didn't even take a shower.
You know what your vice is.
Yeah, come on. All right, I'm going to be Murdoch, you be Face. Which one's the fucking... Which one's a priest? Priest, you don't fit the setup.
He's the character that didn't make it past the pilot.
Yeah, why do you need guilt?
He is the reason, though. You think to yourself, like, he may be crazy, but at least you have defenses now. So the morning passes, the sort of wee hour wake up conversation, gun training, urination, all that sort of stuff happens. It's about 7:10 in the morning, creeping toward 8, and you're guessing that the owner may be waiting at your door right at 8. What do you do?
As I start to notice the time. Listen, guys, we got to get out of here. We can't draw any more attention to ourselves. If we got to drive that stolen car, we better stay on the back roads.
What are we going to do with the guns that are on the bed? Because we can't carry all of them, and that dude's going to throw a shit fit if we walk outside with everything strapped to the priest.
We're not going to be able to shoot them all at the same time anyway. Grab what you can carry.
That, Frank.
Just wrap them in the blanket.
See, just make it look like a body.
Yeah.
Fucking genius.
Yeah, put 3 ties around it.
Yeah, they're gonna be heavy. You carry this end. I'll carry that end. Put it between the fucking mattresses, you fucking clown.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Put the guns between the mattresses. Just leave them. We don't need all of them.
Right. Take what you can carry. Let's get out of here. We're not hauling these back out.
Carries what? So Frank, you had the revolver that you in your pants. You take a rifle as well.
Yeah. I'll take a rifle. I'm wearing a long trench coat. It's old. It's got holes in it, but I get it tucked up under a sleeve and down the side to where if I get it buttoned up real tight and I hold my arms close as though I'm cold, I can keep it wedged in there to get enough to the car.
Yeah, you do. You step out. The morning's just kind of gross. It's misty. It's gray. Probably appropriate, you think to yourself, but there's really no one out here. You're able to load pretty much whatever you'd like into the car. You're gonna have to sit 3 across because El Caminos didn't have much of a backseat. This is the first time that Frank sees the starting of the car. Constantine, I'm assuming you drive, right? As he hot wires this car, and you're sitting in the middle. Let's assume.
Yeah, I'm not sitting next to the fucking priest. No.
Divine intervention, huh?
No love.
I roll my eyes.
Bad childhood.
God has blessed me with the knowledge on how to do this.
So, Randall, you being in the passenger seat, right? You kind of just wedge in next to Frank, and he smells okay, right, for the most part, better than he did yesterday. You put your feet down the bottom, and you notice they don't go all the way to the floorboard, right? There's something in the way. You notice it takes your eyes a second to adjust, but there's this folded over canvas bag there. It too has a tag that says evidence.
Oh, did the priest just become my best fucking friend? I reach down and I grab the bag and I drag it onto my lap.
Cocaine.
And I fumble with it trying to open it. Sweet baby Jesus.
2 good-sized bricks, in fact, of cocaine. And out of the parking lot you go. Constantine, you're not sure where you're going, but you're driving.
So where are we going, Frankie?
Don't call me that.
All right, let's pray on it then.
We're going to Pierson Chemicals, and I pull out a scrap, or it's half a page of a white page phone book entry, and I think we determined below it had an address, and so I read off the address, and I say I think the crossroads are going to be over on that side of town.
Yeah, you'd definitely be able to lead him back there, having just been there.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So sure. I take you back towards Pierson Chemicals.
While Frank's gesturing to Constantine, he hears.
You just bust open, hoping it's all right.
Well, I mean, you do this thing, whatever the fuck you're supposed to do, whatever they do on Crime Scene movie.
So this
choosing to ignore it.
This is the opposite of your usual escape. Suddenly your senses are piqued and your heart rate spikes. Fingers tingle. You feel so much more alive than you have on the shit that you inject into your veins. You're driving. Give me a see through the illusion roll, please, as you choose to indulge in your substances.
You're driving? I thought the priest was driving.
I am not driving.
I'm driving.
Yeah, he's driving. What did I say? Indulge in your substances, right?
He said while you're driving.
Did I say that? I guess I meant while you're riding.
In the car. Got it. Okay.
Riding
I was like, my imagination is wrong. What's going on?
It's so bad. Well.
That's a good number.
Sorry,
right?
buddy. The red box means no.
Well, last time it was terrible anyway.
So, as you snort this stuff and you're feeling good, your heart rate spiked, you're driving, you hear what sounds like someone tuning in the radio. And there's this preacher voice there. Sounds like he's kind of talking through a coffee can, right? It's got that real honk kind of sound to it, the real muffled sort of tinny metal sound to it. And as you're driving, it starts talking about, and then you will cut his throat and fuck his windpipe. Blood will be upon you, blood you will bathe in, for he who lurks in your shadows. And you feel your nose getting kind of weird and wet, Randall.
Hey guys, can we change the radio station? This guy's pretty fucked up, man.
There's no radio.
I don't know what you listen to on the way over here, Priest, but can we put, like, you know, some regular shit on there?
His nose.
So I look over at him as he starts talking, right? What do I see?
His nose is bleeding a little bit. And he's serious about this radio thing, man. He's like, you know, referring to something like he's experiencing it.
Does he still have, like, a bag torn open sitting on his lap, or did he put it away?
I don't know. Did you put it away?
Oh man, I can't spill that shit. I put it back on the floorboard.
Okay.
That shit's gold, man.
You wrapped it back up and put it in the bag. So yeah, it's rolled back up.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I pull my sleeve down over the edge of my hand, grabbing it with my two smaller fingers, and I hold the sleeve of my jacket up to his nose, like I'm dealing with my mentally retarded younger brother.
So you wipe the blood off.
Calm down, man. The radio's not even on. That's the hum of the motor.
Yeah, you're fucking.
And if he touches you again, you will rip off his arm and shove it in his rectum. You hear from the radio.
Head back, buddy. Head back. Put your head
Can
back.
you put some fucking White Snake on or some shit? This is a little much. This is. Oh, you got Bon Jovi, maybe? I don't know. Something different.
So Constantine, all this is going on next to you. You're not really sure. Obviously, you're not hearing the hallucinations. You're kind of driving along. You pass. You turn onto the road as instructed. You see familiar van. There's not only one, right? But it just kind of drives past you. You're getting close. You can see in the distance this large property with this sort of dystopian chemical factory with these sort of tangled pipes and, you know, big receptacles and things. There's a motor pull off to the side and an office, so you're approaching. Randall and Frank. So Randall, as you're there, you kind of hear this. You're never going to make it out of there alive, Michelson, says the priest in the radio. They're going to eat you alive. And then the sound just kind of decomposes like the Matrix transformation thing. And you're out of it.
So I'm still trying to stem your nosebleed, and so I'm pushing my hand up against the bottom part of your nose. I just keep repeating, "Put your head back, man! Stop fighting me! Put your head back! Put your head back!" And I lean over to grab the broken knob on the rusty door, and I'm trying to get the window down, crack, so get the air, get some air circulating inside of the cabin.
That helps a lot. It just buffets against you.
Yeah. I'm afraid, man. I'm panicking now. I'm inconsolable. I don't know, man. I don't think that this is I think that this is a bad fucking idea. I don't even know where we're going anymore. I mean, you know, we know A-bomb. We don't really need to do this. This is a little fucking much, man. This is, maybe it's some good shit. I don't know why people are on this shit, but this is rough.
Car turns onto the road. As you're saying this, you see the Pierson Chemicals sign, and you pass it, and it almost goes slow motion past you. You see the guard house that you saw before approaching. Constantine, what do you do? So you're driving. You're approaching. How are you going to approach the property? It's a pretty good sized property. Again, there's the guard gate that you go in. There's a road that leads back. There's a sort of an office, and attached to that office is sort of a big storage area and a motor pool. And then behind that is this just RoboCop looking tangle of pipes and conduit and vats and whatnot.
I'll take the direct approach. I will drive right up to the office.
This is so good. So you in this rumbling El Camino, you pull up to the guard gate. The guard, as you pull up the chain link fence on wheels, right? It's electric, but the guard steps out. He's got a clipboard in his hand. Motions for you to roll down your window. You roll your window down. Morning, Father. Are you in the wrong place? He kind of leans down and looks at Frank and then looks at Randall.
No. Someone from Pierson Chemicals was. I'm thinking of something random in my head though. Someone needed some consoling within this building. I was told to come here. I'm not sure who. But yeah, I was requested to come here. I'm sorry. I mean, have you accepted Jesus into your life?
Give me an influence other roll, please. Let's see how that works out for you as you start to try to convince him that the three guys, the priest with the two homeless dudes in the El Camino, are there to.
Will my charismatic aura play into this?
I have an interview.
Probably. What does that do? I've forgotten. I can look. I'll look it up. Hang
on. Okay.
I have the power to do that. What is it? Charismatic aura. Oh, all rolls. Yeah, all rolls fail no matter what. That one.
Oh man.
No, so you can force people to trust you and seek your company. Oh my God, what does that even mean in this situation? Let's look it up. That'll be good for the rules.
Broken.
Yeah, for the rules.
Seducing.
You radiate an aura that makes people trust you and seek your company whenever your aura is truly noticeable.
Nice.
I'm gonna give it to you. Go ahead and roll plus soul. So you'll make the roll and add your soul to it.
That didn't work out right.
What'd you what? That's wrong. You
zero?
can't roll a 0. It's hard to do. Do you have a soul of like -3 or something?
No, it ended up being
Plus 10, plus 2, plus 3. So 17? Why did it show a 0?
It's 170.
Yeah, that math is wrong. Okay, fine. We'll go with this one. So
14.
You get to choose one of these options, Constantine. Well, actually, there's only one that's relevant. I'll give you the ones you could choose from so you understand why I'm waffling right now. One of them would be catch a stranger's attention. I'll give you the choice. If you want to catch a stranger's attention, they become curious and approach you. You can change a person's disposition toward you from either aggressive to suspicious, suspicious to neutral, or neutral to positive. Or you can make opponents perceive you as harmless and ignore you for as long as you remain in the background and do not act against them. Guessing you'll probably go with option 2. Is that the thing?
Sounds about right. Safest.
Yeah. Father, what parish are you from? Grimaces. You tell him your old parish?
Yes.
It's like he realizes that part of town's bad, and he almost feels bad for maybe thinking ill of you. All right, well, you just go on through. God bless you, Father. God bless you, he says as he goes and physically rolls open the door. Apparently the electronics are broken on it. You pull through?
Yep.
Thankfully, he didn't notice the hot wire. You hide that well with your leg. You pull up to the parking lot. There's an administrative parking lot that sits in front of this sort of squat, tan brick factory office front type thing, right? You could go straight, and straight is the motor pool. And that's where they've got these sort of roll-up doors. They're all closed. And several vans and one very large truck, all with the Pierson Chemicals logo emblazoned on the side. And then, of course, in the back, it's almost like just staring at you, this like seething chemical apparatus, whatever it is. You pull up and park there at the front?
Yes.
pull up. Pow! Off goes the backfire. You guys do.
Look at me, Randall. Look at me. Are you going to be okay?
This shit don't last that long, so I'm sure I'll be fine, man. Yeah, we can do this. Come on. Let's go do whatever the fuck the priest is saying.
If you're not okay, you're going to get us hurt. I need to make sure you're in it.
Yes, I'm in it.
All right. I thump a heavy hand on his shoulder in comfort.
You get out, Randall. Frank.
You're muted, Jason.
Am I? I'm not muted. Can you hear me? Am I fucking muted?
Can you hear him?
I can hear me. Hey.
There you are.
There you are.
What the hell was that all about? I wasn't muted, but
I couldn't hear you at all.
Probably Zoom COVID. Let's continue. Bad things happen on Zoom during COVID. That's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, so I was just saying, you get out of the El Camino, and the three of you are now standing in front of this building.
As I'm stepping out, I grab a fistful of the cocaine and I put it in my pocket.
Just a fistful of dust.
Fistful of dust. Okay, that is that's a new title. Fistful of dust.
Fistful of dust.
Okay.
I need it.
You do.
Sand.
You just grab it and just throw it in there. Pocket sand, is that what you called it? So you give me an observe the situation roll. One of you pick. I'm going to say it's either Frank or Constantine, probably Frank, being the most lucid of all of you at the moment.
Or am I?
No, not really. You step out and you can kind of look around. I mean, there's the one gimme, right? Which is you're the only car in this parking lot.
Could you have been more conspicuous?
Are you taking pictures of us right now, Constantine? Yeah, so you literally you're looking around. The admin parking lot is empty. And it occurs to you, you don't know what day it is. You've lost track. Maybe it's Saturday.
Come on, Sunday.
I don't know. You could go ask the guard. The priest is like tight with him. So what do? You're standing out in front of this building. There's a reasonably well manicured front, but because we're on the sort of tail end of inclement weather, it's it's just all brown and gnarly. There's some kind of muddy, gross grass bits there. But there's a sidewalk that leads up to the door. 2 wooden doors, very stately, with this brass Pierson Chemicals logo on the front.
I take a quick sweep of the lot. Does it look like there's a lot of action? Do I see people in and out of windows? Maybe people loading shit onto trucks?
You can observe the situation roll. Let's see what all you can force me to tell you.
God damn it.
Did you roll badly? Oh, man.
Yeah, again, not as bad as the first time.
So what were the questions you were asking once again?
I'm just looking for activity, right? I don't want to draw too much attention to ourselves. So I take a look around real quick to see what's going on.
You stand there, you look around, and you think, like, from your cop senses, right, that you look pretty thoroughly. You're looking everywhere, and there's no sign. You think at first there's some movement around the motor pool. You look, and there's like a feral cat or maybe a raccoon kind of running between the vehicles. There's really nothing. There's a plane flying in the distance, probably heading into O'Hare or something. But that's it.
I don't know, guys. I don't see anybody here, which is good. We can take a look around, but there's still a guard in the booth. So be on your toes.
Where do you go? So to the right of the property is basically the sprawl of the office. It kind of goes sort of horizontally across the front. Walking down the side of the building again is the roll-up doors and the motor pool. And then, of course, at the back of the property is this massive sort of tangle of stuff. The office is probably a couple ways in. You can only see one obvious one, though.
Why don't we check out the office and see what the fuck's really going on around here?
You do.
Sounds good to me.
How do you go about doing that? Do you knock the door? What do you do?
It's 9 in the morning, so we're not gonna go just loping across the parking lot. I sort of just kind of casually walk up, and as I'm scanning around looking for movement, I start to peek in the windows and see what I might find inside.
Your reflection, Frank, you look so rough. And this takes you back for a second to your wedding pictures. You thought you looked so rough. You didn't think you deserved her. And you just gotten a haircut. You just shaved. And your best friend tied that tie so many times, but you still look like shit. But now, you look like somebody who deserves to have died with them. And, by the way, the windows are covered with mirrored tinting. That's why you see that.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm like, man, you're bad at looking through stuff. You should have let me.
Yeah. Did you roll it looking for through?
Yeah, because he looks through
stuff?
mirrors. He sees the other side of mirrors.
That is true.
Constantine, what are you doing? So, Frank's kind of looking, he's kind of glancing, being pretty nonchalant. You could be mistaken for groundskeepers the way he's moving. You could not, because you're in, your holy vestiges.
I look godly.
What are you doing? Are you just following behind him? It's kind of like, I picture like you guys creeping along the side of this building.
I'm gonna focus on the location and see what I can read about it.
Give me an observe the situation. That is a good time to use that move. Man, tough rolls today. You're moving along, and this is what's wrong with society, right? This corporate thing that's creeping up in the 80s, the cocaine abuse. That wasn't lost on you. You heard him snorting and sniffing, but you don't see a secret door in the side of the building or anything cool. Also, it's not a mimic, as far as you know. With that perception,
That much we can be sure of.
for sure. Frankie, you head along and you kind of walk along, and the windows in the building are like slits. Sort of 3.5, 4 feet tall, about that wide, useless for the most part. Probably inside there's just some cubicle city or whatever. You're approaching. On the right is an emergency door, or like a big heavy metal door with a very small sort of rectangular window set about face height. Couple steps leading up to that. Handrail painted yellow. Then the motor pool doors start. And there's this thing there that's become a thing recently here in the 80s. CCTV camera. It's aiming sort of at the door. It's not super wide angle like the stuff we have on like everything. I think I even have one on my glass. But there is a camera that you can even see the red light. It looks pink in the daylight, but it's blinking. Aiming right down at the door.
I call it out. Hey guys, careful.
What do you do? There are 6 bay doors along the side of the building, and then the back of the building starts.
And the camera's pointing at the doors.
The camera is pointed, it's kind of mounted sideways and aiming at a sharp angle, like it's really intending to see just the door. And then the resolution on those is, the wide angle technology really wasn't a thing, so you would know actually as a cop.
How high up is it?
Just above the door, probably about a foot, 2 feet above the door maybe, but it's set out a little bit to get a bit of a broader view, attached by wires that lead up into the building. It's kind of aluminum housing.
What are we gonna do, Frank? Don't trust the priest with this one. I want you to do something.
Yeah. Let's not risk it yet. I start to scan the property for some of those infamous Pierson chemical trucks or vans.
Yes.
Have I seen anything?
You do. You absolutely do. So there are the roll-up doors. There's 6 of them, which lead into some kind of probably loading facility. And there's a motor pool. It's off to the left. So picture kind of a broader paved area. This is one area where I guess I could have made a map, but theater of the mind rules, so let's do it. Over to the left is a squat building, and its function is clearly the maintenance of vehicles. There are 8 vans, let's say. I think I said a different number earlier, but I've forgotten, so we'll say 8, and one good-sized truck.
So I casually reach back the back of my hand, trying to get the attention of one of them, and I make contact with one of them, but I'm not sure who it is. And I point over towards the motor pool. So let's go check out those vans.
All right, I'm in.
You guys walk across the paved area. There's a drain in the floor, in the ground, leading down to some drainage pipe for rainwater and snow melt and stuff. You step across and it rattles a little. You get to the motor pool. The vehicles are parked mostly in order. They're numbered. The numbering scheme's a little weird. They might have had some vehicles come and go because they're pretty far apart. It's like 210 and 6. You don't see that many here, right? And then there's this sort of large U-Haul size truck, right? What do you do when you get there?
I remember a van just like this dropping A-bomb off, and 2 fucking pricks that got out of it. And I think maybe there's some clues inside.
Okay. Let's see if you remember. Do you think you would remember? Let's go with intuition. Let's give me just a straight roll plus intuition. Tell me what the total is.
So just a D10 plus.
It'd be 2D10. Are you guys rolling 1D10 or 2D10 right now? You should be rolling 2D10.
I use the actual
button.
attribute calculator.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it's 2D10 plus intuition. So you're thinking, you're looking between these vans and you see that the number 12 jumps out at you, and it just, the camera goes back to that scene and the chaos and the big mailbag and everything that happened, and an A-bomb and his twisted, possessed body, and it's right in front of you. 2 to the left is the very van that he was in.
So I call upon those tried and true reflexes at this point, after years of being a trained beat cop and moving up to detective. And I reach into my memory palace and remember as many details about that particular moment as I can. And 12 flashes in my head. And I say, I think it's this one over here. And I make my way over to that particular van. And I scan the inside of the cab for that telltale blinking light that says there's an alarm on this particular vehicle.
The 80s Viper armed commercial starts. You walk up and you look, and no, there's nothing like that. It is very much a commercial van. All metal, no upholstery. The seats are covered with just bare like naga hide type stuff.
I check the driver's side door handle, see if it's open.
It opens. It's this heavy metal door, like those old kind of rapist vans, like the pervert van, like heavy metal doors, not like the nice, minivans we have today. I'll edit that out. Yes, it's unlocked.
So my heart is racing at this point. I didn't expect it to be so easy. I didn't expect the door to open. And so after half a beat, I whip the door open and I reach across the passenger side and pop the passenger lock to make sure that door is unlocked as well.
Okay.
So that the guys can get in the passenger side.
It's that heavy plastic stem that when you pop it open.
No grip.
Nope. What do you do, Randall? So you see him reach over and pop that.
I look at the priest and I say, "Shotgun." And
Randall's convinced they're going for a ride. He's all coked out and shit, like, wee.
They're like, "Where we going, boss? Come on." Priest rides in the back with the kiddos.
You're wrong for that.
I'm gonna just let the silence reign there. So what do you do? So you run around, you open the door. Constantine, do you open the back? Or you try to get in the back of the van?
Yeah, I'll go on the back.
So you haven't had time, Frank, to react, right? You reached over and you popped open the door, and they're heading around, and you're processing the smell of rotten blood, like a butcher shop that hasn't been washed, right? It's strong in here, and it's like, oh, you pop the door, and they're coming around. You're like, oh shit! You almost have to step out, and the side door opens. So the priest is generally oblivious because of his background, his past, but something about this smell sucks him back to a lucid state. Give me a keep it together roll, please, Constantine, as you literally see where clearly one or more somethings have bled out in this van, and the blood has been left to just sit and rot and stink.
I'm still oblivious.
Yeah, you're like, oh, blood. Great. There must be steak for dinner. No, you know, obviously, as you look at this, you smell that familiar scent of death, like the human animal recoils at that, right? How do you react to that?
Well, it definitely affects me, but I'm also truly of the belief that with the weapons, with everything that's happening, with Frankie being nice to me, and like, even the druggie, showing favoritism, that maybe this is truly a crusade as I've been, spouting this eve. So I'm like, yeah, there's gonna be death, there's gonna be shit like this that I have to deal with. You gotta suck it up, gotta be a man, I exercise demons and now I'm a crusader, like I'm like a fucking Templar.
So as a Templar, you stand proud in front of this, like, Uncle Creepy's van, and you do you pray and do some, holy symbols and things, and what, you cross yourself and all that?
Can I see if there's any spirit still here from the departed?
I'm gonna let you. So you pray for the spirits of the departed, right? Give me a see through the illusion roll. This will be a different.
I have enhanced awareness if it helps.
What does it do, CJ? Or shall I look that one up too?
It lets me focus my senses on a location where the illusion is weak.
That
I can see about the place and speak to entities if any are.
Let's do that. Yes, that's fantastic.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. So you guys can't see the die roll.
No, not him.
No, but he just rolled. Wait, you rolled a 20 to keep it together. I'm sorry, I was misreading that roll. So a 6.
Yeah.
So that's to sort out the place where the illusion is thinner. And I think that backfires on you, but I gotta find it. So what was that called again? I'm sorry.
Being nice to the priest skill.
No, what's it called?
Enhanced awareness. Oh, that's not good.
114. I do love the way this book is laid out. By the way, you guys can go to the description of this video or any other of our cult videos and buy this book, and it will help us out. We will make cents for every $1 million. So a 6, is that what you rolled? That's bad.
Yep. Yeah.
So, oh, that is unfortunate. All right. So the possible results here, I just have to share. So like you can discern clear details regarding the location as one, that's 15 or more, or you could get some basic impressions if that's 10 to 14. The result of 9 or below is that the illusion tears. The veil is lifted temporarily revealing an alternative dimension. So here's...
You're going to kill me, Constantine.
So...
Is this place haunted? Is this place considered haunted?
So haunted right now.
Well,
no,
I wouldn't have said before. I don't know.
Problem.
I'm going to say no, not yours. So, Constantine, you're there and you're praying, and you're praying for the souls of the departed because you know this is clearly the scene of maybe multiple murders.
Yeah.
And then you're not used to hearing a voice necessarily, right? When you pray. You feel a voice. But this time... Why must you talk so loudly, priest? You hear right in front of you. As you open your eyes, the side of the van is this cavernous hole. The sort of stalactites and stalagmites bend in at weird angles, and just on the other side of those... tile begins. Like this weird tile from an asylum. It's dull, kind of grayish color, and the walls are this two-tone cream and green color. And walking toward you is this somewhat of a tall, something like right out of like Pan's Labyrinth, kind of walking forward with this weird gait, snapping with each step. Did it want to come and give us a kiss, Bianchi? Says it. And it opens its mouth, and inside of its mouth are screaming, tiny little mouths that have suffered these horrific deaths.
Wake me up inside, wake me up inside.
What do?
I probably freak the fuck out. I'm going to fall backwards.
You fall backwards into the van, right next to it, boom, bouncing into the van. This thing continues to move forward. You feel behind you something moving, like when someone kind of massages you slightly with their fingertips on your shirt, and then suddenly it's got a grip and it's holding you against the van. Here's the real bad part. Your friends hear this. You look over your shoulder and the van is fine, but out the window, you hear exactly what I just described, every bit of it. Hallucination included. What do?
Jason, I have an involuntary medium thing. Does that come into play here?
No.
Okay.
This is, you hear this like literally if it were happening right next to you.
Yeah, if you're asking me what I do, or are you asking them?
So let's first, you get pulled against the van, right?
Yeah.
How do you react to that?
Well, this is literally mortifying to me. This is my greatest fear, because I feel as if I'm going to be possessed by a demon. And this is what I've lived my entire life to, fight and defeat. So I'll probably break and react in some way to get them away from me.
Give me a keep it together roll. Let's see how badly you break. As it approaches, it starts to change its kind of tone. Why is Connie so afraid, huh? Why are you so afraid? Jesus takes care of everyone. Don't you worry, little man, you'll see. This is getting worse for you by the moment. But you basically hold it together for the most part. With an 11, You have similar choices to what I gave Randall before. So you can resist the situation, but you're going to become angry, sad, scared, guilt-ridden. Either way, you're going to lose stability. You can become obsessed with some particular thing. You can become distracted, which I'm going to overrule that because that's kind of silly here. You're not being distracted from this.
What's over there?
Security camera, guys. So I'll let you think about that. Meanwhile, coming back, you hear this blam, this loud smash as if something is pulled into the van. You guys hear everything that was just said, and you hear the continuing dialogue of something talking to the priest outside the van.
And we hear it in like a demonic type voice, or do we hear it?
Both.
Okay.
You literally have heard the entire exchange.
Do we hear Constantine just being like, "Oh, you can't come in here. It's all scary." Or is it like...
I mean, yeah, right. Does it sound like a dude, or does it sound like a dude?
Watch out, the devil's in here.
Like,
Don't go in the scare van.
It's like Barry White. It's like a dude. It is literally exactly what you heard from the narrative.
Turn the car on already?
So the van itself, I'm in the cab, right? I'm in detective mode. My heart's racing. I'm looking for clues. There's chaos happening in the back. I imagine in this particular van, the cabin is separated from the van, right? This isn't the one where you can see between the back seats and see
you can see there's no back seat. There's a cage. So you're partially right. You can't get back there, but there is a cage. You can see through.
Okay, so as I'm hearing this, then I'm leaning over and looking through the cage and trying to see is there somebody here with him.
So the first thing that you notice from your side of this situation is that there appears to be water emerging from somewhere, maybe beneath the van. And as you're looking at you see at first, it's this little bit of moisture, and then you hear the sound, and you're like, what the hell? Think of something like Hellraiser, and it just starts to move faster. And there's water bubbling up and bubbling up and bubbling up, and both of the doors slam shut. What do you do?
When your friends are dead, Connie, it'll just be you and me. Just like old times, Sonny.
Just like old times. And this thing is now incredibly close to you. What was your choice? How does that play out? Do you become angry, sad, scared? Like what? How do you approach that?
Angry. I'm going to get angry at this.
You get incredibly angry and do what?
Pull out my divine weapon. The revolver I just figured out how to use.
Okay. And
isn't that your greatest fear?
Yeah, I'm going to unleash my divine wrath upon this demon in front of me.
So you basically start just how many shots do you fire?
Oh, until it's either dead or the clip is empty.
As the water is coming up, what are you guys doing? So the doors slam shut. So you're going to start shooting.
So I was leaning in, standing out of the van for the most part until I heard the voice, right? And
so you're back in, and the door's shut with you in it.
Right. So I pull myself up onto the ledge of the seat and lean over to try to get a better view. That's when the door slams shut behind me.
Okay. Yes.
Randall, I assume you're in a similar position, so we're both in the van, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm in the van.
Yep.
Like I was sitting there, like buckling up and shit because I was stoked. So we got a better car.
So I'm in the van. The door slams shut behind me. There's chaos happening in the back seat. I can hear the voices very clearly. What's going on? Water is coming out of somewhere and starting to fill the inside of the van.
Yes.
Okay. And he's firing like a fucking lunatic.
Suddenly, at this moment, you're like, from the inside, what the fuck? From the inside, then you hear and a boom, boom, for you can see the bullets coming through the side of the van.
So punching holes?
Yes. That's a big gun. That's a Dirty Harry gun, right? That one? You took that one?
Yeah.
The Equalizer? Yeah.
The shoot you and kill your grandfather gun?
Yes.
So the gunfire immediately snaps me into reflex mode like we've seen so many times before. and I reach for the revolver on my hip, and I pull it, and I'm trying to see what's going on through the gate, but behind the seat, right? Get the cover that I can, try to see what's going on. Is he being attacked by something? And for the moment, I'm ignoring the water, aware that it's there, but it's not on the top of my list of what's going on right now.
Yeah. So the Randall, so on your side, you notice the water not by him saying anything about water because he's in full on action mode, but it's you're about ankle deep in cold fucking liquid, and you notice the water at your feet. But we'll come back to you. So he's leaning across from you. You look at an angle, and you see Constantine leaning against this van, and he's pushing himself backward, like with his leg muscles, pushing backward into the van. You have no idea why one would do this, right? But he's just pumping bullets. How many bullets do you shoot, Constantine?
I fire all of them in the revolver.
You just unload it. Just the cylinder turns and pow, bullets are penetrating. What are you doing? I mean, he just keeps shooting through the van door, which is closed, by the way. You don't know what the fuck his problem is. He's lost his shit. You might have been right about this, maybe him not having a gun being a good idea. What do you do, Frank? You feel the water as well. It's so cold.
So I pull my feet up out of the water, and I'm full on like leaning on the seat cushion now. My feet are wedged up underneath the steering column, trying to get them, not like trying to get them out of the water, but they're reflexively out. And I'm yelling, sort of over cover, into the back, gun drawn, finger on the trigger. What is going on back there? Who the hell's back there with you?
Give me a keep it together roll, Mr. Bianchi. Let's see if and give yourself go ahead and give yourself a Frank bonus of +2. So add +2 to whatever you roll. That's better. So you fire the last shot. And everything you realize that you're pressing yourself backward against this van. You don't know why, right? Maybe it's the gun. You don't have time to think about that. But nothing's holding you there. You know that for sure. And you've put some serious holes at this range, especially in the side of the van. The van is dented in around the holes, and the paint is kind of grayed out, right, where you can see the bare metal. Gun smoking a little bit. You hear something. You don't know. Something was just screamed at you, but you don't know what. You didn't catch it. So you hear Frank's voice, and then you kind of come back to. What do you do?
I'm going to put the gun down and kind of look around bashfully.
That's cinematically, that is fucking amazing. I'm sorry. I see him like just puts it down. Drops. It does a squat and just kind of puts it down on the ground and steps back. Meanwhile, inside the van, here's the problem. The water is still rising. It is now, for those who don't keep their feet out of it, it is, kind of coming up past the boot on the shifter. It's the problem. What do you do?
I can't hear you.
What do you do?
Oh.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, my character, I'm trying to get the fuck out of the seatbelt this whole time because it's one of those old locky ones where you lean forward and it stops you.
Yeah. So you're just fighting this. You're all coked out. Nice. Okay. So you pop it loose and it kind of flings loose and almost hits Frank because they had a recoil as well. What do you do when you loosen the seatbelt?
I yell something painfully obvious, like, Frank, there's fucking water on the floor. What's going on, man?
So I half hear him, right? Literally only seconds have passed since whatever the fuck that voice was, and the priest lost his goddamn mind. And so I'm like, I see him drop the gun, so I'm still holding mine, finger comes off the trigger, but I'm still alert and I'm still ready. And my head comes out a little bit more for cover, and I'm like, hey, what is going on? Are you all right back there?
So you're basically kind of shouting this, right? And so Constantine, through the bullet holes more than anything in the door, because the van doors themselves are shut, the windows are up. You're just kind of you do hear him like shouting, "Are you okay over there?" And you've just put the gun down. What do you do?
Yeah, I'm fine. I was being attacked, but obviously I'm conflicted and confused right now.
Just hear this kind of muffled sound of him responding to you. The water continues to climb in here. Where the fuck is water coming from? You think to yourself, this is a real problem, and it's real water. You're sure of it.
So once he tells me that he's all right and he's no longer in danger, the reflexes check the box, right? That one is good. Got it. So I'm hearing Randall going, Frank, there's water in here, man. Frank, there's water. But I've got him on hold, and I'm talking with Constantine. And when Constantine gives me the okay, I turn to Frank, and I think all this time I've been aware that there's water, but not putting two and two together. There's the danger, right? And so I look Randall in the eyes, and I'm just, what are you talking about? And I look down, and I start to notice that the water is rising.
So at this moment, Constantine, you kind of rise. You've just said what you said, and you kind of turn. And standing at the nose of the van, so there's two vans parked, far enough apart that you can open the doors in one or the other, not both. So basically blocking you in, right? The security guard is standing there. The trouble is his head is sort of at this really bad angle, and his jaw is slack, and his eyes are very much absent.
Bianchi, they are going to die here, and you will listen to them. First, they will gasp and sputter as the water rises,
says the flopping, broke neck, right? This head is just...
And then they will breathe their last. Unless we reach an agreement. What say you, priest? Their lives are on the line.
What do you do?
Am I cognitive enough to know that this possessed being is talking about my two companions?
Yes. Give me an observe the situation. Let me see how clearly you see what's going on. Because there are some details you can pick up on. Wow, shit, okay. You glance over your shoulder, right? Instinctively, when he says something about your friends, you look. And that's something to be said, right? Like you just immediately, oh, they are my friends. The water at this point is about chest level. And there's some panic and movement going on. And it's this dark, weird, grayish water. You have no understanding why it or how or whatever, but the thing is not lying to you. Your friends are moving around and they're reacting to this. What do? You snap back and the thing is standing there.
We needn't agree on terms now, but one. That we have an agreement this day. Constatine Bianci,
it says.
Well, considering that I identify with them as friends, and I realize that, I will nod in agreement.
It steps forward.
But I will agree.
It steps forward.
Then
the head again flopping, right? Because the neck is totally broken. So the head is wobbling and the weight of it is stretching the skin of the neck.
Bind it with a kiss.
And it reaches down with its arms and turns its head, which is now upside down, to face you. You do it?
I don't know about that.
We see this, right?
You actually, well, I'll get back to you. You guys are now like water. There's water.
I'm just wondering. So.
Yes, you see. Yes, you do actually. You see a figure out there in the chaos, kind of switching back. There's water rising faster, and it smells. It's a stink that you don't recognize, but it's really awful, like sulfur and shit.
A new one.
Yeah, sulfur and shit. That'd be a good name for a band. So anyway, the water's rising.
I played bass for sulfur.
You see this figure step up, almost out of nowhere, and you see the priest talking to it, almost in slow motion. Constantine, what do you? So it holds its head.
You will be unharmed, and your friends as well. But now, priest, you brought us here. Send us home safely, or there will be hell to pay.
The mouth and the absent, weird, slack jaw just... What do you do?
I think I'm going to do a keep it together, because I don't know if that's on the border. It's still my greatest fear, and at the same time, saving my friends.
Give me the roll.
Such an angry fear.
Well, it's demonic possession. Okay.
So
I...
You do keep it together, but what are you trying to achieve by keeping it together? That roll would basically, you grit your teeth and you're like, okay.
In my mind, if I wasn't able to hold together, I'd succumb to my fear again, and I'd probably attack it with my holy water. But in this case,
use your tongue.
I recognize, I essentially recognize that my friendship could help us in the end defeat this evilness. So
wow,
I will fuck her up.
Wow, that's CJ. That's awesome. So you step forward, and in proper 1980s horror movie fashion, right? Exactly. You lean in. If you've ever seen The Reanimator, the H.P. Lovecraft movie, whatever. Well, it was based on a story by Lovecraft. You lean in and you kiss, almost like you would kiss the ring, right, or kiss the cross. And then very suddenly you feel those same uncomfortable touches, those hands, those tendrils pull you close, and there is tongue, and it feels horrific. And you feel your sanctity and your faith being tasted and enjoyed by this thing. And then thrown to the ground. Yeah. Cast aside.
Oh.
And the guard falls over with a thud, and his head like a nunchuck, right, like on the concrete. The water starts to spray out of the grill of the van, and the bottom of the door is as water would outside of water, right? There's nothing holding it in. You guys suddenly are just panicking, and then the water starts to go down. Constantine, you're on your knees, throwing up when the doors go open. What do you guys do? What does that look like? Frank and Randall.
You're muted, Mike.
You're muted, Mike. He's like,
damn.
Oh, I saw that.
I only do that 10 times a day. I'm frantically trying to grab the door handle and try to get the door open. I imagine at some point now the door just gives way and it opens, right?
Yeah, just the weight of the water just it just spills out.
So as the door is pushed open by the weight of the water, I sort of let it take me with it and land clumsily on my feet and get just out of the van. Get out of the van.
You stagger into the front of the other van, right? Like you kind of stagger out and you're wet, and
yep.
You see Constantine there just being bathed. It's almost like slow motion. Think of the cinematic, this dirty, filthy water washing over the priest. Washing him not clean, but washing him dirty. Is that a thing? Pocket powder still wins, I think, or a fistful of powder is for the episode. What do you do? So you see this, and the priest is there, and he's sputtering and coughing. Maybe he got water in his mouth. You don't know why he's sputtering and coughing.
Sure. What do you do?
Oh shit! I wasn't.
It's just like the water starts to go
storm.
back down, and you're like, "Oh, shit! Guess what's
My
wet?
fucking pocket powder.
Guess what's wet? Guess what is like pocket? It's like cocaine pudding now, if that's a thing.
Okay.
It dries up. That's how you make it.
Fine, you're right. You can repowder it.
Yeah, no, we're not throwing that shit out. I have a plan.
And today, ladies and gentlemen, at this moment, crack was invented.
Yeah,
Anyway, so what do you do? So Randall,
I'm
you
gonna kill the ghetto. That's my solution.
you see that Frank. That's terrible. I hate the 80s so much.
The FBI hired me.
You see that Frank is wet. You are also wet. That means that the water's real. You stumble out of the vehicle much the same. What do you guys do? Bianchi is on the ground. Hey, Shadowcast. Sorry about that. I just noticed that was even there. I'm laughing at cocaine jokes.
I am shaking my fucking sleeves out, going bonkers, wagging my arms out everywhere, yelling at the priest for not opening the fucking door.
Yeah, Bianchi, what do you do? The noise around you, it's really bizarre. It's muted. It shouldn't be, but your ears aren't hearing it like they should. It's like there was just a loud doof, and you're recovering from it. When your hearing recovers and everything kind of comes back to normal, it's just chaos. What do you do?
I'm gonna probably stay on the ground for a few moments, retching from what just occurred, and this awful water that has poured over me. I'll probably, looking at the body in front of me, I'll probably do a small prayer for that poor guard also.
You oh yeah, I found just the right one.
Yeah,
You kneel.
What you got?
And you say your prayer of safe journey. And at the very end of that prayer, the head tilts just a little, and its eye winks at you. Just like it would in an 80s movie, and we're gonna stop right here. So that was good. We're gonna stop right here. You guys are good with stopping right here?
That scope, like a small black circle.
Yeah, like the Looney Tunes.
It just focuses on it and then it winks.
Yep, exactly.
Guys, that
What
was a lot
the
of fun.
fuck?
I know. It gets weird when you start breaking the illusion, doesn't it?
Oh my god. Well, so Frank, right? If we're gonna do like the sort of like after the episode, actors talking about their character sort of thing, right? So
yeah, do it.
So Frank,
We're still on, right?
Yeah, we are.
Should
we be turned off?
No. I think this is good. This is a good conversation because I want people to understand sort of where my headspace is as Frank Quinn, right? So Frank, the whole veil came back with the murder of his family, right? Something happened there, and it was dark and it was grisly, and he saw things he couldn't quite explain, and he's been running like simultaneously from and to that particular thing. That's what his journey is.
So Mike, do you think though that was like, is he fixated on one person in a way? Because he chased that one guy and there was that one thing, and he's like, the cop's always out to get his man. Is he starting to realize it's not a man, it's like a whole other place?
I think so. I think that deep down he understands that the idol that he's so in love with is not, it's not what it seems. He doesn't understand it, and he's drawn to it. And I think that he allows himself to be drawn to it because at this point in Frank's life, he needs something to be drawn to. But I think a small part of him understands the danger in allowing for that.
And just think, so you caught the reference to it, I'm guessing, at the very beginning in the narrative. It was intentionally strong. And just think about the fact that whatever it is that follows, like, the cinematic, the director's cut, right? Whatever it is that's following these guys that you haven't even met yet may have nothing to do with these weird van creatures and shit that you're poking with. It could be so much worse.
And that's the thing, right? So Frank's curtain came back with the murder of his family, and it wasn't really until the scene with A-Bomb inside of Constantine's apartment that it sort of reaffirmed to him that this shit is real, right? Like at this whole time, Frank's scrawling in his notebook, And he's got to be asking himself, I'm on the run. My family is murdered. Maybe I did do it. Maybe I'm sick in the head. Here I am. How did I get here? And it was like that moment with Constantine in that apartment with A-Bomb that suddenly it reassured him, okay, there is something else going on. I'm not crazy. And I think he walked into this particular situation at Pierson Chemicals knowing there was an opportunity here for something crazy to happen. But I don't think he was ready for that.
In the parking lot.
Yeah, right. In broad daylight. It's 10 in the fucking morning.
Yeah.
You know, I'm freshly showered. He's in a good state of mind. He's got a fully loaded revolver on his hip. He's feeling as strong and as in his element as he had in years. And just like that, he was reduced to danger by power that he can't even begin to comprehend. And so, you know, Randall and Constantine both have these sort of interactions with the supernatural on a regular basis, and they struggle with these demons. And I particularly like the sort of the journey of whether or not what they're seeing is real or not real, right? Looking for Frank's pants to be wet to understand if what he's seeing is actually real. But to Frank, he doesn't get that window. He doesn't see.
It's always real.
That.
He doesn't.
Exactly.
That's what I like. You're right. I like the fact that Randall and Constantine both are they're both crazy. And so probably they see more unreal than real, right? You know, Randall because he's high and fucked up and he's struggling with his past demons. Constantine because he's clearly a nutcase, but developing into a really complex nutcase. But you're the reverse of that. It's always real.
Right.
And you can't get away from the real. And when this shit crosses over,
it's that much more real, because at no point would I ever take a moment to go, okay, am I okay? When was the last time I dosed up? When was the last time I got sleep? Could this be a figment? To me, it's like, what was that? And it couldn't possibly be more real. And so I think I'm gonna have a fun time next episode trying to figure out, how does Frank deal with that? His life was in real danger in a way that he couldn't control. How does he handle that?
Randall, what about you? So Mike brings an interesting point here. And so you're seeing him, his comment about the pants being wet was important. Right. You're starting to see this shit bleed over into his world in a very visceral and kind of physical way. Like, where are you at?
I kind of feel sort of in a sort of a sick way contented knowing that other people are witnessing this too, because I know this is real. Like I pay good money for my illusions, but I don't see the illusions. You know what I mean?
What I love is you're on in the beginning of that scene. You're coked up, and you who knows, you may have shot up. You don't know. You didn't think you did, but maybe you did. Maybe you're mixing drugs, and so you start to hallucinate, and everything just doesn't seem. It's like, oh my god, this is crazy again. It's again for you every other time, and then you see Frank reacting to the same things. Like, was that shocking to Randall? Or is Frank even there?
Oh god damn it! Yeah,
you're on mute.
Who knows?
Everybody, I'm gonna have your imagination, brother.
I'm gonna dub in an evil laugh over that muted mic right there. It'll be like,
it was a pretty good one too.
I'm still near the dumpster. You know.
Yeah.
Look, you're still coked out from Eggy's shit in the fucking bathroom.
You just OD'd, and it's your devil. And I could make that the end, but I'm not going to. So Constantine, let's talk about you for a second. So like,
spoiler alert, Jesus.
For me, that would be so brutal, wouldn't it? But for me, this
it's all a dream. Oh.
And beep at the very end. So
no one cried.
So Priest, you've been running from crazy for a long time. In guilt and regret, as we saw in your background, like how is this starting to, when you have other people that are suddenly fighting these things alongside of you, is it starting to penetrate the sort of loony priest? Like what's going on in his head? Is he fighting with this experience at all?
No, it's more of an acceptance that is twofold, in that it's validation that everything I've believed my entire life since I was a child is true. And then also validation that I'm not alone in this also. So.
Do you think, though, that it makes it more scary? Because sometimes like having faith and you know, knowing that sort of demons and such aren't likely to actually appear inside of a panel van, right? Suddenly it's real. Like, what's that like for him? Is he, I mean, I know that he's, you know, he's seen some stuff with his past and his father. Is it bringing him back to that?
It did in the truck, in the panel van, when he felt he was being possessed, and he pulled out his divine weapon, the revolver, and that's how he reacted. And that he's never been that close to that side of it.
Yeah, yeah. And what I love, this is like pistol packing priest. You know, is the visual of him just kind of leaning back against the van behind him, holding that thing up and just putting holes in the side of the van.
Sadly, I don't think that built trust with Frank.
Probably not. Hey guys, thanks for joining at the ass end of the episode. You missed some really fucked up stuff. Oh man, as people are starting to kind of join us. That's good.
Yeah.
What are you guys up to? So thinking about this, I like this post-episode thing because it gives me some stuff to think about. But what are you guys going to do? Sort of, you've just discovered that the motor pool is maybe not the safest place. Or at least there's something with these vans. What's next for you guys?
So I know for Frank, there's a very strong tie from what happened to his family to Pierson Chemicals. And this comes from years of hard blood, sweat, and tears piecing shit together and trying to figure things out. And so for him, this is it, right? This is the goal, is to get here and find answers. And I don't know that he's going to find the boss in the chair and put his arms around his neck and finally end, you know, his quest. But I think
it would be like Dick Jones from RoboCop, Mike. It would be like, you know, at the end of RoboCop where you just walk in, they're having a board meeting. Like, why'd you kill my wife? No, probably not.
Yeah. Right. But I think to him, he's going to find something, you know, he's going to find some answer. Hell, maybe the idol that he had sitting on his shelf is sitting in a box in the back room somewhere, and suddenly these things are starting to get connected even more, or maybe there's more bodies back here. I don't know that he knows what to expect, but I think he believes that there's nowhere else to go from this, right? This is where he's going to find his answers, and there's no next step until he gets those answers.
And just let's think about this for 2 seconds, right? What would these guys what would they do if it were solved, if it were sorted, whatever the story is, right? How fucked up and broken. You can all change your character class to broken, right?
Yeah.
So Randall, I cut you off. I'm sorry, Mike. I cut Steve off. I wanted to ask you the bathroom scene.
Mm-hmm.
How is he coping with these? Every mirror, every shiny thing, every, you know, kind of, how is he getting through this? Other than the drugs.
Barely with a baggie. My issue is that I'm still trying to process, based on what we said, what's actually occurring, like what the cause of this spiral into dosing is, because it feels like we are saying that the reflection is disappointed in my decisions and that sort of a thing, and it is representative of, you know, my sister or whatever that was supposed to be.
That was your love interest, remember? And
well, it was in Alabama. Yeah.
You left her. It wasn't your sister, I don't think. I gotta go back and watch that.
No,
it was a year ago. But yeah. So if you think about this, though, you left her there.
Sure.
Right. You left her to be whatever happened. Haven't seen her since.
Why do I? Maybe I'm misremembering some of this.
Let's go back and watch the episode. I don't remember that, honestly, either.
Yeah, because I thought we had said that things were back to normal, and I couldn't handle it, so I disappeared. You know what I mean? She was there at school.
Yeah, she was. Yes.
Yeah, so
that's true.
And the disappearing thing.
That is the part that we didn't describe in the episode. So you went away.
Right.
And so you don't know what happened to her.
Right. I don't know if it's still whatever. So
Yeah.
I know we can't get into that on
Yeah, we'll be here all night.
So
we do a mid-season confessional in a couple episodes. We'll talk about it.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I'm just interested in seeing where this ends up going, because I have let's call it an addiction, where I need to dose in order to be okay.
Yeah.
And I think you know what I'm saying. And I'm really curious as to how I'm going to balance this out with some sort of inner strife and still maintain pedophile jokes for Constantine.
Well, there's that, but then there's the 80s MAC-10 combat that's coming, where you just start spraying bullets into ninjas, because the back building is probably full of ninjas. That's what happens in the 80s. All villains have ninjas.
I couldn't figure out how to light a trash can on fire without fucking up, so I'm pretty sure giving me extra ammo and making them go faster is just a shit idea.
No, I'm so excited about the MAC-10. I couldn't be excited about it. CJ and I talked about this, and we were just bouncing back and forth, making sure that we were clear on where he was. And the MAC-10 came up, and you have unlimited ammo for your MAC-10. It's just like a magic MAC-10 of
good news, guys.
Yeah. No. Awesome. So
I have a clip of holding. It's good.
Yes. That's a good thing.
A clip of holding.
Clip of holding. All right, so let's end this stream here, guys. We'll figure out when our next episode is. Thank you again. Check out the link up there. It's an affiliate link for Drive Thru RPG. You can check out the products. There's only 3 products for this game at the moment that matter. So buy those.
It all comes from here.
We'll get credit, which means we get stickers, I think, if we sell enough. Or it's like that thing where you had to go door to door with the little paper, and if you sell enough, you get a weird plastic thing.
It is the 80s.
It is the fucking 80s. Remember that. All right, so thanks a lot. This has been Myth Brigade. I'm going to take my giant... Oh, wait, the button's not on the screen because it's all in the way. Okay, I'm going to do that. I can't.
Awkward.
You're awkward. I can't find it.